It's the opening round of the General Tire Arena Cross Outlaw Series presented by Geico Motorcycle. Three-time champ Michael Hicks is back to defend his title with a new team and bike, the Tylube Honda Race Team. Can Mike Alessi, Cheyenne Harmon, and the rest of the riders be able to stop Michael Hicks? Find out next. Hello everyone and welcome to the Stormont Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas for round one of the General Tire Arena Cross Outlaw Series presented by Geico Motorcycle. I'm Daniel Blair, joined by Justin Brayton. We'll see Kristen beat trackside this season. Justin, Michael Hicks now has 3 championships in a row. He's chasing his 4th here in the 2022-2023 season. Is it getting easier or harder for Michael Hicks?
Well, one of these championships at this level is really hard to come by. To get 3 in a row is amazing. To get 4, it only gets harder from here.
And for Michael Hicks to win that 4th championship, he'll have to do it over a long, grueling championship. But it all starts with the opening night. This is the format here in Kansas. 250 heat races up first. If you don't make it in the heats, you go to the last chance qualifier, and you work your way towards the 250 Pro main event and the Open Pro main event on a tough track, a tight track. Not a lot of traction here in Topeka, Kansas. We're going to go down now for our first pre-race report of the season. It's our Geico Motorcycle pre-race report with Kristen Beat.
The General Tire Arena Cross Series is back in full force. And guys, as you know, in this style of racing, there's no time to be patient making a pass. And when defending a position, your competition is waiting for you to leave the door open and make a mistake. 28 pro riders will race under that pressure tonight, hoping to assert themselves in the first round of this series. One of those riders, your defending champion, Michael Hicks, on the gate behind me in this first heat. He was your fastest qualifier earlier today.
Well, if you're Michael Hicks, new team, new bike, same number, same result as last year so far, fastest in qualifying. You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, if you're Isaiah Clark, Preston Taylor, and Grant Harlan, that's not what you wanted to see in the first qualifying session of the year. But lucky for them, they got a chance to go against the number 1 right here early in 250 Pro Heat Race number 1.
Not a great jump for Michael Hicks out of the gate. Looks like Isaiah Clark with the whole shot.
Yeah, Hicks got pinched off early. He's going to have to make some moves in the early laps of this heat race. But look at Grant Harlan around the outside line. Clark decides not to be too aggressive. And now Harlan is going to lead the way as they cross the green flag. Everything is good to go in this heat race. You see Hicks now up to 4th. But for Grant Harlan, no better way to start this championship.
Just 2 weeks ago, Grant Harlan was racing in the World Supercross Series on a Club MX 450. This week, he is on a truly stock Honda 250. He has his outdoor suspension on the bike. He said he definitely is feeling that power lag.
Yeah, going from a 450 to a 250, you're definitely going to notice the power lag. But I love what Kristen said there. He's been racing. He raced the World Supercross Series. And I think that's a testament to why he's out front right now. He doesn't have those pre-race jitters. He's already been there, done that. So, but Isaiah Clark, you got to love where he's at as well. He's ahead of the past champion. He was 2nd in the championship last year. So I think this is right where he needs to be, ahead of Michael Hicks.
Now, if you're Michael Hicks, you're running 3rd in this heat race. This is just for his gate pick. He's obviously going to qualify if he gets in the top 5. But on a start like this, a short start to the right, gate pick is everything. So 3rd, probably not satisfactory at the moment.
Not satisfactory at all, but I wonder if that's that new bike and new team. Not many gate drops on this bike. First gate drop of the year. Not sure the clutch release, not sure the traction in the rear wheel. So I wonder if that's going to come into play here, Daniel.
You mentioned traction, and I'm seeing it early. Not a lot of it. Flat insides, no ruts. Going to play a role today?
Absolutely. The first heat race, not line. There's no lines developed yet. The whoops are fresh. They're brand new, but you're just still trying to search for some traction. You got the loose soil on top. You see Harlan going way outside to try to get a run into these whoops. And he looks pretty good for him, but he's also already coming up some lap traffic that affected him there.
Grant Harlan continues to lead heat race number 1, lap 6 of 9. The top 5 riders will go straight. Ooh, little mistake there, but for Harlan, he leads the top 5 riders who will go straight to the main event. The rest will go to the last chance qualifier. The number 6, the Deegan Hep. No better way to start the championship than just to put the bike in the main.
Well, Deegan's coming off a big injury, racing the Supercross Futures out in Salt Lake City. So yes, for him right now, get into the main, log some laps, start to build that confidence back up.
Runs 4th right now. As we close down the final laps of heat race number 1, Harlan continues to lead. You see Clark 2nd. Hicks has not made his way Pass, oh, there he goes. He gets into second, passes Isaiah Clark. But the battle for the final transfer spot is on between Carter Bees and Preston Taylor. Bees on the outside of the whoops, doesn't get the drive. Here comes Taylor up the inside. If he wants it, he takes it. Great move by Carter Bees, gets him back.
Carter Bees, little square up move, coming to the white flag. Now right here, Daniel, it's,
The leader, Grant Harlan, no pressure. Hicks was back there just about a half a second back. Harlan, no need to go down there, but makes the big mistake. And Michael Hicks, the champ, benefits. Sometimes you got to be at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely, and if you're Hicks, you'd like to see that. If you're Harlan, it was the last lap. You just had a few turns to go to get this Heat 1 win.
And the Geico Motorcycle results show Michael Hicks with the win. Preston Taylor was able to get by Carter Bees, but with Harlan's mistake, they both make the main.
An unfortunate circumstance for Grant Harlan, but that played right into your favor, Michael, and something we talked about earlier today, just getting used to this Honda. You told me that you felt like you were already at home after riding the KTM in previous seasons. What helped you adjust and adapt to this bike as quickly as you did?
The bike's just so similar to the KTM, built about the same. But yeah, I'm gelling with it really good. Harlan went off the track on that white flag lap, but yeah, just feeling good. Whoops are pretty tough because they're really slick, so key factor tonight, and should be a good night of racing.
Champions find ways to win. Sometimes they get a little help, but that's okay. That's arena cross action. It's heat race number 2, 10 riders on the gate. It's a 9-lap battle. We're going to see Mike Alessi, Cheyenne Harmon, Lance Kobush, and the rest of the 250 riders who will be chasing Michael Hicks in that 250 main event. And you see the 800 of Mike Alessi, 7 gates out from the inside. That's a typical Mike Alessi gate.
I do like where he's lining up. He always likes to give himself a little bit of room on the inside. He goes a little early there.
Back in time, not stuck in the gate, but for Mike Alessi, high risk, high reward. That one didn't work out.
That did not work out. As you see him coming into the Race Tech Rockers here, you got 9:58 of Matthew Curler in the lead. Great start for him.
Yeah, Adventure Moto backed rider gets the lead here. Cheyenne Harmon now in second. You see Kobush fighting his way from 4th to 3rd. Is Gordon gonna let him by? Nope, still battling. But for Curler, what way to start the championship. Get out front in this heat race. Not a bad run to the whoops, but he leaves the door open. Here comes Harmon.
Here comes Harmon up the inside, goes into the lead. Kobush into second as well. And for Harmon right now, he's got clear track. You just want to hit your marks, take the lines that you're most comfortable with, and try to start to build that gap up over Kobush.
Harmon on the Cycle Zone KTM leads, but it's Lance Kobush running second.
Lance Kobush won the 2015 Super Mini class at the Monster Energy Cup. He was 14 years old and one of the most anticipated prospects to hit the scene. Now 21, he said his career hadn't gone to plan, but this Arena Cross Series is giving him the confidence his program has been lacking and helping him get his career back on track.
For Lance Kobush, he's had so much success as an amateur. He's had 14 top 10 at the Loretta Lynn's Ranch as an amateur. He's won the Monster Cup, so he's no stranger to being at the front of the field, no different than here in Arena Cross.
And he is chasing down Cheyenne Harmon for the lead spot, but for Mike Alessi, we saw his issues early at the gate. He's now made his way up to 4th, trying to get by Curler. Curler's got the inside. Alessi rolls around, and he's on a 252 stroke. So when we talk about traction, that's a completely different game for Mike Alessi.
It's a completely different game. And as you can see here in Topeka, the dirt's a little bit slippery. I don't think that's going to suit the 2-stroke as much as the 4-stroke. But Mike, he's been around a long time. He knows how to adjust, and he's looking really good here in Heat 2.
Yeah, riding real aggressive to get back in that top 3. Remember, gate pick for the main event is key. Every spot, every pass matters. So that move into 3rd will help Mike Alessi. Carter Gordon running 5th right now on the bubble of qualifying, has a little bit of a gap on 6th and 7th. Not enough pressure from behind to have to take defensive lines. At this point, does he just keep charging forward, keep the focus on Curler, or does he have to be aware of what's behind him?
Well, in Arena Cross, you always got to be aware of what's behind you because you're on the bubble, you're in the final transfer spot.
Now for Cheyenne Harmon, he is well aware of who's right behind him, and that's the 95 of Lance Kobush, who has made his way to the back tire of Harmon. Now you got to find a way around him. Are you seeing anything yet on this track? I mean, the berms are always an option, but does Kobush have anything special for Harmon?
Well, Kobush, he's looking really good through the Race Tech Rockers. I think now he's just got to set him up, set Harmon up. Oh, he's coming on the inside. No setup needed. Just go in there and make it happen.
No wasted time whatsoever. White flag is out. And for Kobush, he gets right by Harmon. That's the key, right? You don't want to spend too much time behind a guy. If you get there and you can strike, you do it.
Absolutely, and Kobush is looking great. Harmon had an opportunity to go up the inside right there, but what a statement for Lance Kobush to come out here and win Heat 2.
The Sunoco checkered flag waves, and it's Lance Kobush who wins 250, Heat Race 2, Harmon second. See a little freestyle action right there from one of the competitors. Alessi, after his issues on the start, fights back to third. Curler, what a ride for Matthew Curler, getting in fourth, making the main event, and Carter Gordon will get the final transfer spot in the Geico Motorcycle Pro Heat 2 results.
Lance, you pushed Cheyenne high up into that turn to make the pass, but you made it clean. He tried to return the favor. What was going through your mind in that moment?
Oh, you know, I just tried to get out to the best start I could. It's tight racing. Some of the funnest racing you can do. Some of the funnest racing that's out there. So, you know, I just tried to get by him and you know, be nice. I don't think there was any contact, and then just make it to the main and hopefully go. I'm ready to race Hicksy, so it'll be fun.
Ooh, Hicksy. Michael Hicks, Lance Kobush. That's going to be a fun main event. The Arena Cross Outlaw Series is brought to you by General Tire and by Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you up to 15% on your motorcycle insurance. Well, what a way to start a championship. Those 250 heat races were great action in Topeka, Kansas. Now we move on to the Open Pro Heat races, and we're going to kick it off with a Geico Motorcycle pre-race report with Kristen Beat.
I caught up with Grant Harlan following his get off in that first 250 class heat, and Grant told me he wasn't expecting the track to be so slick. He said he actually started to slip in the middle of the whoop section. He said he was able to catch it, hang on, but then he lost it again. And guys, another note on Grant Harlan, he said he's physically fine, but moving into his second pro heat, he said he needs to have better throttle control. And guys, a note, he also was on a Club MX Yamaha 450 racing in the World Supercross Series just 2 weeks ago. Tonight, he's on a stock Honda 250, still adjusting to the power disparity between the two bikes, guys.
Well, for Grant, you just got to take the positives out of that 250 heat. He led the whole thing. He was leading the #1 of Michael Hicks, who went on to win that. But you got to take the positives from that. He was the best guy in that heat race.
Yeah, and a rematch now. Michael Hicks, Grant Harlan, Isaiah Clark all back together in this Open Pro Heat Race #1. So if you're Harlan on the far outside gate, which interesting gate choice, you got a chance for a little redemption right here. You could beat the #1 of Michael Hicks. Here we go. Gate goes down. Not a great jump for Hicks, and there's Harlan around the outside line. I guess that line worked.
I guess it did, picking up right where he left off, looking him through the Race Tech rockers, redeeming himself from the last lap of the 250 heat race.
That's right. The last time he was on track, he went down in that section. He grabs a hole shot now, blitzes the whoops, green flag, open track. Oh, Isaiah Clark to the side. And look how far back Michael Hicks and now Isaiah Clark are. So if you're Grant Harlan, not a lot of pressure from the, I'd say the more prominent competitors in this field, but for Hep on the #6 machine, take advantage of an opportunity.
Hep's looking great, and you think back to last year, 1 and 2 in the championship last year, both way back outside of qualifying position right now. So,
whoa, Preston Taylor with, I mean, a new move, a new tactic. Does it work? I don't know what you saw there, JB, but it looked like a little shake of the bars. Is that a new form of intimidation?
I don't think it's a new form of intimidation. I think Preston thought they were going to kind of hit in midair. You saw Pickens kind of point like, hey, you get a little bit more to the left. We're too close here.
Yeah, Taylor's looking back right now, so he's well aware of who is in his race bubble. Here comes Isaiah Clark after the big mistake on the opening lap. Tries to make the move on Pickens, gets him there with an aggressive inside move, and now he puts himself into that top 4 position. But hey, shout out to Pickens, running top 5 right now. If he stays where he's at, he makes the main.
Yeah, Pickens just needs to stay where he's at in 5th here, the final transfer spot. But I will say, you look at Hicks in 7th, he's going to be up there soon, so if you're Pickens, you better get going.
Yeah, Hicks was the fastest in qualifying, so you know once he gets the open track, he's going to make a move up to Pickens. Can he defend him when he gets there? We're going to find out. Grant Harlan still leads this heat race about halfway through. Ooh, and there's Michael Hicks. He's a lot closer than he was a lap ago.
He is. Michael Hicks is coming through the pack. And you got to get back on track. You know, for Hicks, he's gotten 2 bad starts. He obviously got gifted the win in the 250 heat race. But here you got to get your momentum back on your side, hit some lines, and right now maybe even search for some passing lines for the main event coming up.
For Hicks, he's got the pressure of the opening round. He's got the pressure of chasing his 4th championship. How about the pressure of riding for a new team and learning how to race a bike that I'm sure he feels comfortable with at the practice track?
Absolutely. I'm sure he's done a lot of testing during the week. Everything feels great on his home practice track, but also new team. You want to impress them. You want to come out firing. You got the number 1 on your bike. You got that red background that looks great on the red bike.
Whoop.
Here he goes into the final transfer spot, and he just needs to get his groove here, get some momentum back going. And yeah, he's obviously past champion for a reason, and he's looking good. But Grant Holleran, how about him? Looking amazing.
Yeah, trying to take care of this heat race like he was doing in the 250 class. Nice comfortable lead, can take the lines he wants, no real pressure, and an obvious huge bounce back win for Grant Harlan if he can stick it.
And if you remember the 250 heat race, oh look at him, he's got a jump line in the 250 heat. He crashed right there on the last lap with a decent sized lead. This time he had a nice jump line, just bring it home safe.
Yeah, great line for Grant Harlan there to close down heat race number 1 of the Open Pro division. You see a little more freestyle action right there. There's Clark in second, Carter Gordon third, Preston Taylor fourth, and here's our champ, Michael Hicks. 2 bad starts. Hey, he's in these main events, but he's gonna have to clean it up before we get there.
Daniel, I like second and third. They're Fort Dodge, Iowa. I may be biased, but I'm a hometown fan of the Fort Dodge, Iowa boys.
Clark and Hep representing the hometown.
A little bit of redemption for Grant Harlan, who went down in the 250 heat, now taking a win in your Open Pro heat. How were you able to rebound?
Man, I'm like 3 for 3 on starts already. Had to do heat races in an LCQ, so Hoosier tires hooking up great off that gate. Stock Honda, tuned by Merge Racing, get me off. That one, just tried to ride smooth and consistent. I had a pretty big lead after halfway there, so I just tried to, not make that mistake I made in the 250 main and finish it off.
Played it smart, live and learn. That's arena cross action for you. Heat race number 2 of the Open Pro, 11 riders on the gate. It's a 9-lap battle, another rematch. Harmon, Kobush, and Alessi all in heat 2.
Heat 2 coming up here. And look at where Alessi's lined up. He's lined up in the same gate as Harlan was, which he hole-shotted that last heat race.
Does it work? Not a bad jump, but unfortunately for Alessi, Kobush had a little bit more. They all drift wide. And the 5 of Carter Gordon up the inside. Whoa, look at Harmon in the back of Alessi, makes a big mistake. But for Lance Kobush, all the work he had to do in that 250 Pro heat, he won't have to do it here. He's got the clear track.
He's got clear track, and look at Alessi coming up here. He's in 3rd place, and look, Mike Alessi's been around a long time. He knows how to get the job done, and you wonder if he's just kind of easing into it in these heat races. Looked really good through the Race Tech Rockers, which hasn't been Mike's specialty in years past, but he looked amazing through that section.
Yeah, great in the whoops, not as good on the start. Excited to see what Mike Alessi does in 2022-3.
Guys, Mike Alessi told me the advantage of the 252 stroke, more peak horsepower, and it's lighter than a 250F by 30 pounds. However, it has less torque in the corners, and unless you can keep it up in the revs, it's a disadvantage.
Well, here's the hard part about peak horsepower. You don't ever get there in arena cross. So, in my opinion, on this type of track here in Topeka, a little bit slicker soil. You can see there Harmon kind of getting a little bit of rear end slip. I don't think it's an advantage here, but Mike's been around a long time. It's his bike of choice, and there's got to be a reason why he's showing up racing here.
And it's a long championship. They're going to be on multiple tracks this year that have different types of soil. So for Alessi, maybe different rounds in the title, he'll be able to use that power. But here in Topeka, it's tight, it's quick, it's slick, and he's battling his way into a transfer spot right now in the top 5. This is the battle for the final transfer spot between the 266 of Greenlee and the 958 of Curler. We saw Curler make the main in the 250 Pro heat race, but now in Open Pro, instead of having the lead early, he has to do some work and make a move.
Well, and you notice there, Greenlee went to a jump line. Mike Alessi went to a jump line. You wonder if the whoops are starting to get more chewed out, but who's not going to a jump line is Lance Kobush. And I can just feel the confidence coming out of him right now. After that 250 heat win, did a little one-hander off the finish line. In his interview, he sounded super confident. I believe that set him up for success for the rest of the night, and you can tell here in Open Pro Heat 2.
Yeah, he has taken off with this one. The battle for 5th continues. Greenlee now has the space he needs. It's part of the arena cross game. Like you said, you got to be aware of what's behind you. But if you do have a half a second or 1 second, you get to take the lines you want. You don't have to be too defensive.
Well, take the lines you want. Also search around for the main event. If you're in a good qualifying position, you got to be ready for that main event. The track's going to change between now and then, so look for some alternative lines.
It's already changing too, like you said in the whoops. You see guys starting to go to a jump line, explore for some options. Is that just the traction on top going away? These guys aren't getting that grip, so hey, let's start jumping through them.
Absolutely, and you know what? We're at round 1. a lot of times you come into round one, you need to make some bike changes. Maybe guys aren't comfortable with skimming the Race Tech rockers. They're more comfortable jumping. They've set their bikes up for that. So that could be something we're looking for here in these main events as they continue to change.
Kobush, no issues. Sunoco checkered flag waves, and he gives another one-hander to the crowd. Talk about a man feeling confident right now after these heat races. If you're Michael Hicks, you're looking over at Lance Kobush, and you may have yourself a tough battle once we get to those main events. We take a look at the Geico Motorcycle Open Pro Heat 2 results. It's Kobush, Harmon, Alessi, Gordon, and Greenlee holds on for that top 5 finish. He's in the main.
Lance, 4 seconds on Mike Alessi in a sport where we usually talk about tenths of a second. You had 4 seconds on Mike. Where'd you find the extra time?
You know, me and my team back at Tapped House, Taylor Painter, everybody, man, my whole STR team, we have been working really hard. So, you know, can't give up all my secrets, you know, but got to give it up to my trainer. And, man, I'm just going out there and trying to do the best I can and got another win, so I'm happy.
Well, you can only keep those secrets for so long. Hey, when we come back, it's 250 LCQ action. Heat race action from Topeka, Kansas has come to a close. Michael Hicks gets a win, Grant Harlan gets a win, and Lance Kobush gets 2 wins on a track with a real slick surface.
Daniel, on exit from the whoop section, this corner is claiming quite a few riders in the pro class. As you can see down here, it is hard like concrete, it is blue groove, and it is requiring the riders.
Yeah, the strategy is going to come into play, and they're just going to have to search for some traction. There is traction out there, but you're really going to have to search for it, try and find it. Look like after the whoops, entering that turn, if you go far outside, not many guys are going out there. That's where the traction is.
Looks a little slick in that inside. That's where most of the riders are coming and braking really hard on their way to a main event. That's what they want for everyone on this start. Got to get in the top 4, you get in, and for Grant Harlan, he's going to get another hole shot in a race that he should take care of business.
And if you're Grant Harlan, this is a perfect opportunity to find that traction. I think sometimes being in the LCQ is actually an advantage. Some people don't look at it that way, but I think it is more track time. And if it was a perfect scenario and you knew you were going to get the transfer spot, I'd take an LCQ every time.
So glass half full is better than glass half empty. And for Grant Harlan right now, charging through the whoops, still has to adapt back to that Honda. We talked about him switching from Club MX, the World Supercross, to this Honda machine, Yamaha to Honda. That's a big change as well. Now for Reimer, Greenlee, and Moran, they got to be in the top 4. It's a quick race, 4 laps. So right now they're in great position to do so. But if you're on the bubble, if you're Moran on the 31, one slip up, someone gets close enough, and it could be all out chaos.
It could be. You just got to latch on to the 266 of Greenlee. You've got to latch on to him and know, look, he's in a transfer spot. I'm in a transfer spot. 1 lap to go. Got plenty of gap. Take it easy, ride it home, get in this main event.
Okay, so the 464 of Smith is right on Moran on this final lap, but for Grant Harlan, he goes back to that jump line. Do you think maybe trying that jump line in the last lap opened up an opportunity to maybe put something in his back pocket for those main events?
Either something in his back pocket, or he's still got that lingering crash on his mind from the 250 heat race.
Well, he wins this one. He goes to the 250 main event, and there's the 31 of Moran. He's going to hold on and get that final transfer spot and put his machine into the main event for 250. Of course, we have the Open Pro Last Chance Qualifier coming up next, but it's Harlan, Greenlee, Reimer, and Moran making the main event. Doc Smith, Blaine Pickens, and the rest, you'll have another shot at it in the Open Pro Last Chance Qualifier. This is the Cometic Gasket Junior Moto Challenge, 85cc, ages 7 to 11. You see the hole shot right there by the number 58 on the gas. That is Darren Pine. Now, Darren Pine, really fast amateur. He's a top 3 Loretta Lynn's kid on 50s and 65s and 80s. So to see him here sharpening up his Supercross skills, that's awesome to see. You see the 913 of Brandon Higginbotham, the 417 of Brady Luke battling for second, trying to find their way to the top spot of the leaderboard, and with a little bit of help, they could have got there. A Darren Pine mistake right here after the finish line jump into the back of a lapper, makes a mistake, but luckily for Darren Pine and his Bees Moto Lab machine, he had a big enough lead to get coasted home, get the checkered flag, and win the Cometic Gasket Junior Moto Challenge. Good ride by Darren Pine. You're going to see a lot of him in the future. Second, Brady Luke. Third, Brandon Higginbotham. And for Darren, Brady, and Brandon, there's no better feeling than standing on the podium Getting the cheers from the fans for a top 3 finish here in Topeka, Kansas. The Open Pro last chance qualifier, quick race, 4 laps. Only 4 riders will make it to the main event. So for a lot of these guys, this is their last chance to race if they can't get in. A lot of pressure, a lot of intensity behind the gate.
A lot of pressure, top 4 like you said. You just got to get in here. For a guy like Carter Bees, you know, you're almost a lock to get in, but just focus on the track. Get a good start. Looks like he got a great start. Good jump out of the gate. Looks like he's going to pull the whole shot.
Comes around the General Tire first turn with the lead, and for Carter Bees, riding for that Cycle Zone KTM team anchored by Cheyenne Harmon. It's a great opportunity for Bees. Had a really bad injury a few years back, just trying to rebuild his career.
Absolutely. You know, Carter was a highly touted amateur. Out of the amateur scene, he was very, very sought after and had a big injury. This is a great stepping stone to get back on his feet, to win races, no matter if it's an LCQ, heat race, main event, no matter what. To get the checkered flag first, to lead some laps, always a great stepping stone to get back on his feet.
A rebuilding process for him, getting those wins that much more important, and getting the experience in the main events. Got a lot of pressure right now, though, by Matthew Curler, Austin Roberts, Thor Rick. It's a tight battle in the top 4, but for Smith, McKenzie, and Sipple, time's running out. You're going to have to make a move right now, and Rick doesn't seem to have too much pressure. Little mistake right there, but nobody on his back tire just yet, but hey, that can change in a heartbeat.
Smith and McKenzie on the outside looking in, coming to the white flag. Anything goes at this point, Daniel.
So Bees leads, Curler, Roberts 1, 2, 3. You see Bees with the jumping line in the whoops as well. He has decided, I'm going to play it safe. I saw what Grant Harlan's done earlier. I just need to get the bike in the main event. He's going to do that as he grabs the checkered flag. The question is, who gets the top 4? Bees, Curler, McKenzie. Scott holds on for that final spot. You see a little rev right there. He's happy to go to the main event. So Bees, Curler, Roberts, and Rick go on. Doc Smith, Brennan Sipple, McKenzie, Reimer, and the rest. Your night of racing is over. Heat races are done. Last chance qualifiers are done. Main events are coming up next. Back in Topeka, Kansas, where the gates are filled for the 250 Pro main event. We saw Michael Hicks win a heat race. We saw Lance Kobush win a heat race. But Justin, we have not seen them yet together.
Well, this is a matchup we've been looking for all night. Kobush looks like he's just oozing confidence. He's already called out Hicksy in an interview after one of his wins. So I'm looking forward to these guys matching up, going head-to-head here in this 250 main event.
We've seen some hole shots from the outside. Michael Hicks way out there, Kobush just inside of him. You see Alessi and Harmon way in the inside gates 3 and 4, and as it goes down, there's Mike Alessi with a good jump, but it's Isaiah Clark with the fly racing hole shot. He leads the way. There's Hicks, there's Kobush, Harmon, Alessi, all the big dogs up front.
Well, 1-2 from last year in reverse order. Isaiah Clark second in the championship last year, leading the way here, leading the past champion, the 3-time and reigning champion of Michael Hicks. He's in second.
Now in the heat races, Hicks had issues, Clark had issues. It was a little bit of a mess for the 1 and 2, but as soon as the main event hits, the points are on the line. You see these guys out front. Well, Clark makes a big mistake right when I'm singing his praises. Michael Hicks takes advantage with an easy pass, didn't have to do any work there, but now look, it's Kobush right on his back tire.
Absolutely, and Michael Hicks takes advantage of another guy down in the whoops, Isaiah Clark, and look at him, he's looking good. I love his line through the Race Tech Rockers. Oh, Deegan Hepp down, unfortunately. But Kobush, second place, this is exactly what he wanted. He wanted this matchup.
He's been so aggressive since the first gate drop of the season. We've talked about the conditions, how slick it is on the surface, but both of these riders have had to be aggressive on their way to this main event. Now they get a chance to go one-on-one, and both riders still blitzing the whoops. We saw some guys go away from it, not the top 2.
No, not the top 2. I think that's still the fastest way. But if you're Kobush, you've got 14 laps. Just sit back here, watch the past champion of Michael Hicks. You got to learn from him a little bit, and when the time is right, you got to make your move.
Cheyenne Harmon running 3rd right now on the Cycle Zone KTM. He's the anchor and leader of that team. An international man of mystery. He's raced in Germany, Canada, Brazil, and Netherlands, but he wants to be an Arena Cross champion. Maybe not up front, maybe not positioned to win this race, but a solid podium ride. That's how you win a title. You got to stack those points early.
You see Isaiah Clark coming up here on Michael Alessi for the 4th position, and Isaiah here, he's just got to rebound. You know, you come out, you hole shot, you're excited. Yes, this is exactly where I want to be. You make a big mistake. Now he's got to regroup, And at this point, his goal is just get up to the podium, but he's got to get around Michael Lessie here. Michael Lessie, obviously no stranger to racing of any form, raced all over the world himself. He's going to be a hard one to get around.
Yeah, a lot of experience from the 800 of Michael Lessie, knows how to play defense, and he's doing it now. Hicks and Kobush still running 1 and 2. Harmon alone in 3rd, but the battle is for 4th, and Clark right now, obviously faster. You can see he's kind of having to lay back a little bit. How much time does he wait before he has to get aggressive and make a move?
Well, he needs not to wait at all, but you see another mistake, and that's where these slick conditions that Kristen was talking about earlier come into play. Isaiah's not taking the lines he wants. He's trying to take different lines. He's trying to jump through the hoops. He's trying to skim the hoops. He's trying to square him off, and there he looks like he's going to get the job done.
Took advantage of a mistake, too. Alessi bobbled in the whoops, lost some of his speed. Clark goes out to in, cuts under, and now he'll make charge at Cheyenne Harmon for 3rd, but there's a new factor. It's lap riders, it's lap traffic. The leaders are in it, Harmon's in it, Clark's in it. The game has completely changed from here on out.
Yeah, and for Clark, you can't waste any time with these lappers. You've got to get by them as quick as you can. Like right here, he pushes that lapper out of the way. It's time to go. Podium's on the line. He's in 4th. He's got to catch Harmon for 3rd.
Yeah, these Arena Cross main events, man, before you know it, snap your fingers, the race is over. So you got to strike when the opportunity is there, and sometimes even when it's not. Michael Hicks leads the way. Kobush not applying as much pressure as we thought he might at this point. Kobush wanted this matchup. At this point, though, Hicks has got the better of him with a couple laps to go.
Hicks is right where he wants to be. He's no stranger to this, right? He's won so many of these races. What better way? New team, new bike, new look, same result.
I know you like that red on red, too. The red background with the big number 1. What a way to start the series than come in with that red plate number 1.
You see Harlan here obviously having a great night. Not a great start to this 250 Pro Main.
No, coming back in this one. Remember, he had to go to the last chance qualifier, so not as ideal on the start. Trying to find a way around Michael Lessie. Look at that swinging wide. Good drive. Good pass.
That was all about his entrance speed. You've seen him go wide before. The Race Tech Rockers came in with a lot more entry speed, was able to go around the outside of Michael Lessie.
Now they're slick and dry, so for Harlan, is it that entry speed that pays the difference in the... Oh, for Michael Hicks. Oh, and so he saves it, but the bike is stalled. He's going to lose valuable positions. He already lost 1 to Kobush. Now Harmon gets by. Wow, and now Grant Harlan in his heat race had it in the bag, made the mistake and lost it. Hicks' turn to make the big mistake.
Wow, unbelievable. Coming to the white flag, makes a big mistake. That was just purely track conditions, Daniel. That was no fault of his own. Maybe a lapse of concentration. But what a bummer for Michael Hicks.
Yeah, the benefactor is Lance Kobush. He won both of his heat races. Now he wins the 250 main event. And for Michael Hicks, you see a little bit of frustration right there. The defending champ, the favorite to win this title, with a huge mistake. That's something we don't see often.
You don't see very often from the number 1 plate. Still able to get on the podium. Not a bad result for Michael Hicks after that big mistake.
The General Tire main event results show the top 14. They'll carry those points into their championship total. And with 1 main event in the books, it's this man who leads the way.
Lance, this track has taken its toll on a few riders, a battle of attrition out there. You were able to secure that win against your good friend Michael Hicks. What was it like battling with Michael and then being able to overtake him due to his error?
You know, Michael's been my best friend since I was like 3 years old, so I love racing with him, you know. I feel like a little kid out there, you know. He got out front, I got out behind him, and he's riding amazing, you know. We were just kind of pacing each other the whole time, and track is super slick, so it's really easy to make mistakes, and it just got the best of him, and, you know, he's all good, so he'll be back in the next one, but, you know, I'm happy to get up here on the box, and hopefully I'll be up here again.
No better way to start a championship than a main event victory, but he's got the Open Pro main coming up next. The Open Pro main event is next from Topeka, Kansas. Daniel Blair, Justin Brayton, and Kristen Beat bringing you all the action. And Kristen's with Michael Lessie for the General Tire pre-race report.
Mike, this weekend you're shaking down the 2-stroke. What did you learn in that first main event that you can now apply to the Open Pro?
Well, it was definitely really good off the start. Being on the 4-stroke versus the 2-stroke is the torque, right? You can't replace that from the 4-stroke to the 2-stroke. It just hooks up different. As far as the track conditions, it's pretty blue grooved, and the whoops are getting slippery and slippery by the lap, it seems like. So it's just different. I have to learn how to ride the 2-stroke different in the right power band. But it's fun overall, and I love being here. And thanks to all the guys for having me out, and all my sponsors doing such a great job. And I look forward to the series. Thank you.
Mike, best of luck out there.
And it's a story of redemption. Riders have made mistakes tonight, but they've been able to bounce back. Michael Hicks gave one away. He needs a big main event here.
And for Michael Hicks, he's a 3-time defending champion. He's thinking big picture, still was on the podium in that 250 promo.
Geico Motorcycle 32nd board will go up and turn sideways for our first Open Pro main event of the championship. You see Hicks right in the middle. A little bit better launch, not as good as needed to get the whole shot. So for the Viral brand goggles whole shot, it's gonna be Carter Gordon with the lead. You see Grant Harlan around the outside, Alessi in the inside. Hicks with a great run to the whoops, goes from 4 to 2.
Hicks is always good in these first couple laps, and even just the first couple turns. He's so experienced. There's a reason why he has that #1 plate on his bike.
Oh, Harlan's down, Alessi's down. These are two of the title favorites. Riders who have had success not only in their career, but on this night. And for Harlan, someone who has really been fast tonight, this one, I mean, his chance of winning this is over. He's gonna have to salvage as many points as possible, and now the defending champ has the lead. He's got Carter Gordon in between him and the rest of the field. Oh, tough break for Alessi and Harlan, but for Michael Hicks, talk about redemption, here's his shot at it.
Here it is, and you think about that move he made in turn 2. He was behind those guys going into turn 2. He's in front of them exiting it. They crashed in turn 4. Michael Hicks to the lead.
Wow, without that aggression on the opening lap, he could have been behind them in that crash. That gives Gordon and Harmon and Kobush a chance to stack points on the defending champ. Instead, he makes his way to the lead. Now for Cheyenne Harmon, second overall in the 250 Pro main event, took advantage of the Hicks mistake. What better way to start the championship for your Cycle Zone KTM team than put together 2 back-to-back podiums?
Would be an amazing result for a hometown team here in Topeka. He's going to get some heat from Kobush here coming up, so he's got to get around the 5 of Gordon here as soon as possible.
Up the inside line, he doesn't get the run in the whoops, but he has the inside. Does he want to be aggressive? Does he use it now? He does. Great checkup too. That was great offense and defense in the same corner.
Didn't let Gordon square him off. He's a veteran of this, knows what he's doing. In second place. Now set your eyes on the #1, latch onto him, because you got to know that Kobush is coming. He obviously won the 250 Pro main. He's been on it all night. So you got to have some eyes in the back of your head, but also not focus too much on that. As Kobush was going to go up the inside, got held up by a lapper.
Yeah, he had a plan right there, but the lap rider got in the way. And now Isaiah Clark's going to get into this battle and conversation. So for Carter Gordon, it's not just the pressure from Kobush. You got Isaiah Clark, the #2 rider from last year. He's on him as well.
Well, and that's where in these main events, you got to have so much urgency,
like
but
that?
just enough patience. There's some urgency because he felt the 682 of Isaiah Clark coming up on him. And look, Isaiah's one of the championship favorites coming in here. And these guys were outside of podium position. Now Isaiah, pressure and Kobush for 3rd. That's Isaiah's goal. Look, if he gets 4th here, he's not going to be happy. His goal is to stand on top of the podium after this main.
He's got Kobush right in front of him, Harmon about 2 seconds up, and Michael Hicks is gone. If he doesn't make a big mistake, which we've seen tonight, he's going to go on and win this race with just a few laps to go. But for Clark and Kobush, every point matters. Cheyenne Harmon, you're in the crosshairs. But here's Michael Hicks, confident. You said it, this team, make a debut with the Ty-Luke guys, get him a victory. It'd be a great debut for not only him, but the team.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of pressure on Michael Hicks coming in here. You know, the team signs the #1 rider in the series. They come in with the #1 plate, nice looking bike, nice looking gear. He wants to win. His team wants to win. That's what he's hired for. So to come in here and actually back that up, look, there's a lot of pressure for round 1. Anything can happen, as we've seen in the 250 Pro main. But right here, he's got 4 laps to go. He's got a pretty big lead. Just be patient, hit your marks, not worry about guys in front of you or behind you, you know, the lappers in front of you, and just kind of ease your way around them and take home this checkered flag.
In a long championship, there's going to be main events that don't go very smoothly. So when you have one like this and you have the big lead, you just got to take it, right? You got to enjoy it because they're not all going to be like this.
Well, and I think he's learned a lot from that 250 race. Had it in the bag, you know, a lap and a half to go, throws it away. It's not going to happen this way.
So Hicks leads, Harmon still running 2nd, Kobush in a podium position in 3rd. Love to see that bike working like that in the whoops too. We talk about the off-season getting comfortable. Race conditions expose problems, but at least in the whoops, the toughest part of the track, I haven't seen many from Michael Hicks.
No, Hicks has been solid all night, really in every section. And you wonder if he's made any bike changes throughout the night. You know, race conditions are a lot different than practice conditions.
Harmon second. Kobush now to his rear tire. Kobush has been great in the whoops as well. He's on the outside looking in. Does he get aggressive? That's what we saw in the heat race. He didn't waste much time. Well, here's your answer. There it is. Look at even his boot buckle. He hit him, knocked the boot buckle off on Harmon right there. So for Kobush, sticks to the plan. When he gets to a guy, he strikes. He doesn't wait around.
And really good racecraft from Harmon. He let it go. He wasn't racing hard with Kobush, so they both would go down. He's still in a podium position. Great result for Harmon as well.
And for Michael Hicks, big bounce back, wins the Open Pro main event. Kobush second, Harmon third. Consistent night of race action for Harmon. Here's Isaiah Clark in fourth. Michael Lessie was actually a lap down. We saw the issues he had early in that main event. If we look at the General Tire Open Pro main event results, it's Hicks, Kobush, Harmon, 1, 2, 3. Great bounce back by Isaiah Clark, great right, but they did drop him late in that main event. Picked up the bounce back at round number 2. Podium interviews are coming up next. We'll hear from this man who finished third in Open Pro. The Arena Cross Outlaw Series is brought to you by General Tire, ODI, Cometic Gasket, Hoosier Tire, and by Andretti's Karting and Games. Well, round 1 of the General Tire Arena Cross Outlaw Series is done. Kristen Beat is on the podium with Cheyenne Harmon, second in the 250s, third in the Open Pro main.
Jeff Crutcher was telling me you're the most focused rider on his team. What were you focusing on out there?
My main focus at that time was getting a start. I've been struggling with starts all night, and that's on me. So I had to try a little something different, and you know, it kind of worked a little better. I was able to move up to second, was catching Hicks, and
What did you try that was different?
can't give away my secrets. But I did try something a little different, and it worked a little better, and need to play with some more. But anyways, I was catching Hicks, and I was focused on him. I didn't even know Lance was behind me, and man, I'm frustrated. I let him get me again. You know, that's a few times a night. So, but everybody's riding good, and again, we have a big picture in mind with the championship. So we did what we come to do tonight. We got some points. We're moving forward, and I just can't thank the whole Rip and Rut Cycle Zone KTM team enough for believing in me, and it's just awesome to be here racing, and yeah, ready for tomorrow night.
And for Lance Kobush, he wins the 250, second in the Open Pro. What a start to the series.
Lance, take me through that pass you made on Cheyenne Harmon.
You know, I got out there and I didn't get off to the greatest start, you know, and so I was trying to make as many passes as I could, and I was pacing Cheyenne. He's riding really good. Track's slick. I was hoping to force him into a mistake, but he wasn't making any. So, you know, we got down to the wire, and I was setting him up for laps and laps, and finally I was able to get it done and get the pass into second. I wish I would have had more time trying to get up there and race with Michael, but, you know, I'm happy with it.
And the champ bounces back. Michael Hicks gets the big win in the Open Pro main event.
Michael, managing mistakes out there, how hard was it to get a clean lap with how slick the track was getting?
Yeah, I was racing myself out there. You know, they were coming, but mainly you're just racing yourself on a track like this. It's really slick. Hopefully tomorrow night's a better night. But yeah, couldn't have done it without my whole team: Ty Lube Honda, Storm Lake Honda, FXR 60, X-Brand Goggles, Renegade Oil, Yoshimura, Pro Taper, and just everybody, thank you.
And as we look at the Redline Oil Series point standings, you see Kobush on top, Hicks in second. That consistency from Cheyenne Harmon could pay dividends late in the championship. But Justin, you can't win the title at round 1, but you could definitely lose it.
You can, and you look here at the Sunoco Fuel fastest lap. Grant Harlan, 2 tough main events, but he can go to bed tonight saying, I was the fastest guy in Topeka, Kansas.
Now, this is the first round of a long championship, a lot of jitters, a lot of anticipation. So now that we're through round 1, do you think things are going to settle in for these riders and they'll be more comfortable moving forward?
Absolutely, and you think about Michael Hicks, new team, new bike. He's got to take some confidence away. Really, he should have won both main events. Obviously gave the 250 Pro main away, but Lance Kobush was on his game from really the first gate drop, winning both heat races. Grant Harlan, fastest of the night. This is going to be an amazing, amazing series.
And we're only 1 round into a 15-round championship. It's the Arena Cross Outlaw Series, brought to you by General Tire.